wasn't going to go live, but um, I noticed that Sierra hearted my last little sentiment to her yesterday because she usually gets back to me a little sooner. And so I went to her channel and I thought, well, maybe she posted something. Sierra Queen Pin Clark, my friend of good 2 years now, maybe two and a half even. And she did. And I was sort of surprised, but relieved for her. She's taking a small mental break. Um, Now I can't remember if she just said a small mental break or a small mental break from YouTube, but she'll be back and she's got some plans for her channel. And, that could be what? A few days, a week, who knows? But then I felt inspired by seeing that and a little concerned. Hi, Mary Jane Doe. Hi, hun. Hi, Freeside. That I was like, wow, um, for her to need to take a break. Um, I mean, did I hurt her that bad? She said in my messenger that she said, I think, oh no, I understand now, I think. So to me, she was wavering a little bit in her mind. I think, yeah, she's a very strong woman. So, I didn't want to play her messages to me that she had openly. She said to me that she had shared or sent to her mod chat, which I didn't even know there was such a thing. I assumed before I read it again that, she was in a group, not necessarily Discord, but had some friends that she was close to on a regular and was just sharing her feelings. And I think that's a positive, good thing, right? And also, like I could have judged that, why didn't she come to me first, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, that's just not me. And I'm grown, and she was nice enough, right? And forthright enough and transparent enough to even send me those messages that she sent to you guys. So when I was listening to the first one, I thought it was just simply like addressed to me, but then I realized it was, her sharing her feelings to you guys. I don't know who all her mods are. I know Mary Jane Doe, I believe you're one of them. Um, and so, yeah, I don't know how people are feeling about things and if people even care that much, right? How close she and I are. Oh, it's you and two other ladies. Okay. Um, I mean, but it does matter to me very much that people understand that I can say we're fine, we're good, we're nothing's changed. Um, I don't know. I don't think it has, but over me putting that let go, let God statement in her comment, I explained that and many other things to her of why I chose those words. Because I wanted to be very careful, because it's a very delicate situation, along with abuse and being upset and having it perpetrated on her and, things like this. And I reminded her I've been through that kind of thing too. And I left a message 10 minutes and then 20. I told her what let go, let God meant for me, because it's an easy thing to say, and it's even a slogan in AA, right? Alcoholics Anonymous. But to do it and to say it are two different things. I mean, I actually have a little tin box with a pencil and these little pieces of paper that I got from my sister, shoot, 4 years ago, and I've used it. I've used it about 4 times. One time was, is my before his dad started getting really kind of wasted and over the top with his words and the way he was treating both of us. Uh, I put in that little tin box, it's your will, Lord, whether my son goes back and lives with his alcoholic father. And then another time was in regards to me having help financially, um, with SSI after my heart attack and stuff. Um, so, because the medication on all of that stuff, it wipes me out. I mean, I can move through the house, I can go up and down, the stairs, and I can carry garbage, but I don't have the sort of tenacity feeling that I used to have to just hit things head on physically anymore. My daughter helps me with a lot of things. Parker does some, but she's more willing to help. So I put that in the little box, and I think another thing was my sister's cancer, because when I found out my mom had cancer, she put herself on hospice and was gone 2 weeks later. So it wasn't a worry thing about that. And then when she had her little stress induced heart attack, just like me, she went to Mayo Clinic, found out in Rochester, Minnesota, and I mean, she had to take an ambulance there and everything from Baroque, Iowa, which is like 15, 20 minutes from Decorah. But then they let her go home. Now, this was before mine. So I couldn't understand how someone could have any kind of heart attack and get to go home in 2 days. But now I do, because that's what happened to me. Not having any blockage, thank God, because I've had cholesterol issues for a while. But because of the medicine and the statin, it's down. And it's way down, which is really nice. But the medication I'm on for my blood pressure, and it's two of them now, really makes a difference than just one. So even though, I seem like I have all this energy and everything, I don't do a live every day because I don't always feel like it, for one, physically even. And I don't want to just sit here in my pajamas. I need to get dressed, put makeup on, do all this stuff so that I feel presentable. Uh, but 2 years ago, it was different. If you guys look at my videos, I did a live every single night, um, and that kind of thing for quite a while. I might do one for 3 days in a row, and then you won't see me for 10 days, or I might do one a week, or two a week, or just talk like this. But I came on here, you guys, to really, um, instead of first, I was like gonna just repeat my feelings that I said to her and let you guys know that we're good. Um, but I also felt like after seeing her post, it was after seeing her post that I was like, gee, it's she's really been affected by many, many things. And possibly I'm one of them, right? Now, so I was like, I want other people, and especially her mods, right, who she sent her feelings to, which I'm not going to play her messages. I don't think that would be even kind of me, and I'm not going to ask her. Like, she doesn't even know I'm doing this live. I don't check with people. I don't put links in people's chats actually until after the show's over. And I'm always spontaneous and impromptu anyway with my thinking. Um, I actually had a different topic that I was going to do, and today at this place, they're fixing what they're making the Wi-Fi better for this apartment complex, and it was supposed to be on and off all day long, and it got completely fixed because I got a text from the office by 12:30. So for me to think I could even sit here and talk to you guys about where Cierra and I are at, um, yeah, is shocking. I mean, we knew about it a week ago and I put it on the calendar. Now, if my sound gets scratchy, I'm in my bedroom, so I'll have good reception. If it gets crackly or scratchy, let me know, okay, Mary Jane Doe? Or anyone for that matter that might hop in. Is it clear now? I taped my conversations. Oh, good. Wonderful. Also, I don't have my bedroom headlight on. I have just the little lamp. And I bet you anything, if I turn that bright light on up on the ceiling, Mary Jane Doe, it'll become crackly. Because I noticed that watching back my last live. But I have a real nice lamp. I have all the kitties in here. They haven't been in here uh, at all. Not one of them since the night before we had the carpeting put in. So that's been at least 2 weeks. So they're pretty happy. They're on the floor. They're on the bed. It's really funny. Um, so I went ahead and I taped my two responses from the other iPad so I could play them on here. So you guys know this was all fresh just yesterday. This isn't a week later, like, oh, Megan has to, defend herself and come clean with people. No, no. It's just a way for me because I go to her channel, she goes to mine. You guys mod for me, you mod for her, and we all kind of know each other, and hopefully we're all, pretty close. Oh, I know that, Mary Jane Doe. I know that. But I think I was able to come across to where she hopefully in her heart and soul understood where I was coming from because, she had mentioned that sort of trusting other women is difficult. You know what I mean? And yeah. So I'm going to play this. Hopefully the sound is okay. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to listen to it with you guys. And then after, maybe someone might have a question for me or something, and that's fine. We can talk about it a little bit. But it's not too, massively, I'm not going to, like, I don't plan on, you know, majorly, deeply getting into anything. I guess we'll just put it that way. All right, this is what I sent Cierra after I got her messages. And again, only the mods know, right? What she said, how her tone was. how she sounded, how perplexed, confused, and, rather upset even. So, yeah. So you guys have the context of things, and these were my two responses back to her. Okay.
Oh my goodness, Cierra. I thought long and hard about what even putting. And I put let go, let God, because that's what you said. You said it in your life. I need to let go and let God. And you reminded me that that's what I need to continue doing in my life with, passings of family and getting older and hearing all this Jimmy stuff and bringing me back too to, the things that I went through. So I was just in sort of a blanket comment saying, let go, let God. Now, if you hadn't mentioned that in your live, I don't think I would have put those words down because it sounds sort of contrite. Is that a word? It does. It's like, oh, let go, let God. I hated it when people just told me that at AA. But because you had mentioned it in your live, and that's why I put it there, I wrote that after to remind you that that's what you had said. So I'm just trying to be helpful. I'm not doing any tit for tat. I've only heard, because I need to comment too, because you've misconstrued my feelings behind what I put. I didn't bring up your crying and everything because that's a given. You should be crying. Of course it's okay. I mean, good grief. Team Rose cries. I used to cry all the time. I still cry now and then. I cried on my live when somebody asked me, are you happy? On St. Patty's Day, I got choked up in my video. So I feel like you think I'm minimizing your pain, maybe, or something. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. You are such a good friend to me on here, and we have different things we've been through in common. When I mean let go, let God, that's everything. If you want to pursue your feelings and things about Jimmy with White Boy and all that, of course you're going to do that. What I mean when I say let go, let God, I mean if you can mentally, like mentally just, I don't know, what does let go, let God mean even? Like I rarely even do it myself. So I was literally just kind of, trying to remind you of what you had stated in your live. And so because of that, I really thought the comment would be okay. And then the fact that you hearted it yesterday, I was like, oh, good. She feels okay about what I said. And so you didn't feel like I was minimalizing things and minimizing your feelings. I was trying to reach out to you with, virtual hugs, as they're called. And I said that I loved you. And so I feel that you've misunderstood my intentions of writing it. And since you said, what did you mean by this comment? I'm just explaining it to you. I'm not, am I going to go on White Boy Radio again? No. When I went in the other day, not the time when I went up, but I went the other day just to say hello to everybody. One person that knew who I was PCT acknowledged me and said hi. And I was in there a little bit, but I didn't feel that welcome. You know what I mean? He's busy. He has ADHD. I get all that. He admits to that. But his wife could have said hi to me. Other people could have said hi. So even though I went up and told my truth and my feelings about it, like I kind of knew what I was getting into because he after I was already involved with him, right? For 2 months, he told me, PJ was his girlfriend because I asked. So that's why I'm just not going to be all hurt by Jimmy because I didn't have to pursue things with him. I didn't have to get on a plane and go meet him, knowing that we had to hide around from PJ. So, for me, let go, let God, I guess means, Parker, I'll get you your coffee. Are you getting it?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Okay.
I don't know how to do, like,
all right.
It says in a...
All right, let me send this to Cierra. To me, let go, let God means, I guess things that bother me in life, like something that bothers me in life, or I'm having a hard time with or worrying about, like, am I going to get on SSI ever? They're having a damn stroke and heart attack, and I'm not even 65. Stuff like that. Like, let go, let God, or just ask for God's will. That's all. There's absolutely not trying to minimize your pain. I think you're feeling, I'm putting myself in your shoes now because I didn't bring up the trauma you went through that you talked about. I didn't feel like it was my place. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like it was my place to say, oh, I can't believe your brother did that to you, but I'm glad you're friends now. Do you know what I mean? I don't, I think it's an age thing. I've learned to not respond to all aspects of everything because I might get it wrong. I might say something that's hurtful, especially like you said in your live, it's a trauma wound or something that you're still healing from. Can't remember the exact words. So yeah, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not minimizing your pain, not for one damn second. And I hope you believe that. So I'll listen to the rest of your messages. I'm a little nervous because you sound like you're literally angry with me. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and hear them. But I'm just explaining my side. I'm not trying to, do a bunch of defending or anything. That's why it was sort of just short. I didn't go into great detail. Oh yeah, white boy, and oh yeah, Jimmy, and oh yeah, we've all been abused by Jimmy, and do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, because there's different levels of abuse that people have gone through with Jimmy. I mean, maybe he's told other people he's going to leave PJ and be with them. I just thought of this. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if he was with PJ when he tried to get with Rock, this girl or whatever. And so does he lead women on? Right? Well, obviously he does, because he doesn't admit he even has her in his life. But so I think there's different levels of hurt. So when you say, I'm saying I'm not hurt, what I mean by that is I put myself out there. I knew 2 months later, after I was already involved with him on the internet, that he was with her, that he literally, agreed with me. Yeah, well, I gotta have a girlfriend. That's what he said to me. I could have said, well, why do you have to have a girlfriend? And I didn't. I just, whatever, just that's what I thought. And so I've been really transparent with my feelings. And thank God I'm over him. I mean, I just couldn't believe it when he's like talking how he wants a McLaren next for a car. Like he's not satisfied with anything he has. Now he's got to put lights and everything all around that C8 Corvette or something, and he's so bragful. It's a complete, utter turnoff to the point where I don't even want to talk about him anymore. I'm that turned off. So this is 10 minutes long. I'm going to send it and listen to your other ones. And if I need to make another comment, or not comment, if I need to respond back, I'll send you another message. Okay, hon? Yeah, please understand where I'm coming from. Okay, because I understand where you're coming from. All right. Talk to you soon. Okay, I just remembered that your other question, like, why did I send you the Janelle Monáe? Because we've both heard of her. If you look at the channel, what is it called? You style me, or I'm you style. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it now, and I sent it to you. But I looked through quite a few, and what I wanted you to take out of it is that no matter what your choices are, you're okay with them. Like it's not about her undressing and feeling good in her own skin. That was just part of it. I know you're sure of your body and you're sure of your sexuality and you're comfortable with everything. That's what's special about you, and that's what I've known about you for 2 years. That many women never get there. They never get there feeling comfortable with who they are, right? And I didn't until, honestly, till I quit drinking, frankly. But what I wanted to say is I sent that because the other people on that channel, hundreds of them on her channel that dates back, I noticed 14 years or so, are just more random people. So I thought you'd be like, oh, and then also she's a Black woman, right? So what I was hoping is you'd get one little thing out of what Janelle Monáe said about, loving herself, because I know you do love yourself, but I don't know if there's if you feel, I mean, I don't know. Now I can't remember, your video is, pretty long and I listened to it, but I don't think, in it somewhere you said, I think you said, was I blind, or how did I get in this situation? Or you were asking yourself things out loud, right? And as I'm listening, I'm thinking, no, Jimmy pretty much duped everyone and dupes everyone and is continuing to dupe people. No, you're not adding any more sugar.
No, I know it's not that sweet.
Well, it's not supposed to be. It's international coffee. Oh, you're adding that, the other creamer. Okay. So Parker's doing really good on his diet. He's down to 180, and his highest was 202 in January. So even though he's not on the keto anymore, he's eats one meal a day and extra protein and doesn't have sugar, but he is having some international coffee, which is chock full of sugar with his diet. But that's why he came out. You know, Jimmy fools a lot of people. That's what I feel. And did he fool me? Yes. And did I really like him before? Yes. Am I attracted to him anymore? No. And even if he lost weight and got all skinny, I don't like what he's become because he's changed. So no, I'm not sitting on any kind of sidelines, waiting for him to have anything to do with me. That will never happen again. And not only that, I was looking on ICMELS, and I don't know if you heard, Cierra, but a freaking Canadian huge ass airplane was landing on its way in LaGuardia in New York, and I've been to that airport. It's one of the busiest in the nation, and it hit a little yellow fire truck thing going across the runway because another plane had odor in it, and stewardesses were getting sick. So I'm bringing all this up because even after I got back, I knew I was never going to fly again. Boy, I'm really not going to fly now. I almost think Jimmy's days, because he's so pro plane flying all the time like this, his days could be numbered. I mean, if he just happens to get on the wrong plane, well, then that's it. He seems to think they're so safe. Well, no, they're not. 2 pilots dead, 48 people sent to the hospital, and 9 in serious condition. So I'm letting you know that no, I'm not waiting on any kind of sidelines. He's completely he's just, it's what money does to everyone. Once you have a lot of stuff, you want more. Once you have all the attention and gratification of people watching you, you want more. That's what it seems like to me with Jimmy. So anyway, yeah, hopefully you have some understanding. And yeah, I certainly didn't mean to make you feel worse, for God's sake. Not ever. But yeah, and also, like, when you brought up in here, I don't, or you said I was saying things about Jimmy. I haven't said much about him at all. But that's not me being, what did you say? Not passive aggressive, but, or maybe you did. Now I can't frickin' remember. It just sucks. Something in Messenger. If you go back, I don't really talk about him anymore. I mean, I did up on White Boys, and I wanted to share my little bit of the story. But as far as me like hating the guy, I don't. I just think he's changed because also, like, for me, he did some things for me. He helped me out with food that one time for me and my family. He gave me some money for a vacuum. But most of all, he let me be co-host, and that was fun. So he did some things for me than just a little 3-day fling in Virginia. And that's the Jimmy that, honestly, I don't even remember it very much anymore. I mean, I just stated it, but it's so different now with him, the way he treats people online and even to their face, like, the way he was treating JLR, down there in Arizona before we all found out, that he beat Magnolia allegedly, but not allegedly. It looks like he really did. And yeah, I didn't hear Jimmy say he's for a woman getting beat up, but I did hear them bonding over the whole, it seems like, stupid situation with Magnolia's pain. And that was really pretty, I mean, I don't want to have a dog in that fight. You know what I mean? So I'm just staying out of things. And like I said, I don't feel that welcome over on White Boys. Like, I just don't. And, you know, I just, mods, you know, people think if they're a mod in your chat, not your chat, but anybody's chat, they have to come up on stage, and Mary Jane Doe has never done that. She's not like, oh, I gotta correct everybody and say this and say that, and white knight for the person of the channel, you know. And it's just what I see in different creators' things, not yours. I'm gonna state that right here. I don't see that in yours at all. It doesn't happen in mine, but also I don't even do StreamYard anymore. It's other people's, where the mods think they have to come up and take care of the situation, which it's all just, I honestly, YouTube isn't that serious to me, and I'm getting tired, and I'm older. I don't have the time and energy to float around everywhere. I'm not even subscribed to Mark, what is he? Mark Terry. I haven't been. I'm not subscribed to Leanie. I'm not subscribed to Tattooed Angel or anything. And she and I used to be close. I mean, I sent her a book 2 years ago. But I have to pick what time I have. You know, people that do lives every cotton picking day, they expect people to almost be there every day. You don't do a live every day. I don't do a live every day. But I was feeling sort of pressured and slightly pushed verbally in Messenger to be over, you know, over on different people's channels. You know, not yours. You're never pushy. You just put the link in and let me know when you're going live, and I like that because, like, today I slept till 11, and my son's psychiatrist is calling today, and I'm always part of the conversation because my son can't remember dates, and he's been going off his Zoloft, tapering off the correct way now for a whole month, and he's going to start Celexa, which he's been on before. He's been on Celexa 6 years ago, or no, longer than that. He was a teenager. It worked really well. But he's got to stay on his antipsychotic because he still has these delusional thoughts about witches and frickin' all this kind of weird shit. So I got a lot more on my mind with my son's future and concerns and my daughter trying to find a job than just, you know, Jimmy shit and white boys stuff anymore, and everyone slamming JLR left and right. You know, Jimmy says he doesn't have to have a dog in the fight, but then he does a whole damn live on it and makes that cartoon whatever picture of Magnolia's face, which is pathetic, right? So he contradicts himself all the time. And it's just all getting really old. You know, I mean, I've been abused. I've been punched in the ear. I've had the backs of my legs until I had welts, and it was swelled out with welts way out, you know. And I've talked about it before when I was in Okinawa. And I also was back fisted and had my lip split open, you know, and I felt like my tooth was loose, and I was in the car with my ex, Parker's dad. And Parker was in the back seat in his little chair at the age of 4, and blood splattered on the dashboard, you know. Then I had a lady friend when I was coming back from the bar. She was so intoxicated. She just turned because she never wanted to leave the bar, but yet she couldn't find her car where she parked it. She punched me in the damn face. but she missed my nose. But she was headed for my nose. She got me right above my nose, and the pain was excruciating, but it wasn't my nose. You know, and then Mel diving on top of me and slamming me to the floor for my tips in Massachusetts and covering my mouth and my nose at the same time. And if I had even moved slightly, he would have made it tighter, and I feel like I would have died. So I just laid there limp. As soon as I did, he got off me. You know, and I've been raped and I've been date raped. So I've been through stuff too. It's not about, right? It's about how people handle what they've gone through and make a decision when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then that's what it is, right? And so I don't put myself in those predicaments anymore, and quit drinking and left those people, like left. When I left Mel, I never contacted him again. I didn't look him up on Facebook when I first got on Facebook 4 years ago with all the Dolly Vision stuff to see if he was married or dead or alive. No, when I end things, it's ended. It is ended. Now, I feel like I never really got closure from Jimmy, but I didn't need it either because I could tell, like I had stated once, Cierra, that when I'm just trying to, on that damn burner phone, contact him about a serious matter, like that little boy getting his gift that was on the wish list and me paying for it, or it said it was paid for by someone, which was me because it was taken off the list, but yet there was no address, so he really never did get it. I didn't want the kid to think he was getting it, this little boy, and not. And Jimmy never even freaking got back to me. He didn't even send me a text. I tried contacting him twice by text. I didn't even call it. And I'm like, no, if he can't even answer for that, what? I'm supposed to miss him a little bit or want to hear his voice because I'm not over there and think he's going to answer? And I was completely, utterly done in my mind. And that's the thing. That comes with just knowing. Like you just know. So, yeah, I went up on White Boys and I said my little piece, but I did make it clear that I knew what I was getting myself into. So after 2 months, not right away, I sure as hell didn't. I thought he was just lonely, single, didn't have anyone, just like you the first time. But we both, kept putting ourselves out there and letting ourselves, I guess, fall for him more, right? I fell for him more after seeing him down there. I wanted so badly to get back on his live. I was crying, bawling, sobbing, like in a couple of messages to him because I couldn't help it. I was like, please, let me just be in chat. The longer I'm away, all the turtles are going to fight me all the more when I want to come back. I said, I don't expect to be on panel. I probably shouldn't even be on panel. And things just weren't heading in the direction that I wanted, and I did back out. So that I gave my closure to myself. And I guess, Cierra, that's what I mean by let go, let God. I didn't really let God, I let me make the choice. And that was 2.5 years ago. Then did all this stuff come up, and did I want to share my story in more detail? Because PJ was like, show receipts, show receipts. She never has any proof. Like she really didn't believe me. And I was just like, hell yeah, yeah, I'm going to show receipts. But am I done with all of it now? Yes, I am. I'm done with all the Jimmy stuff. It's in the past. Um, he lies to her every day. That's my girl. That's my beautiful girl. Kisses on the forehead. When she doesn't even reciprocate it back. You notice that? Like, oh, Jimmy or anything, which means she's sort of stunned by it all. It's just an act. But again, if he's happy with her, then whatever. I don't even worry about his safety anymore because I literally feel like she could walk in on him with someone and she won't leave him. Now, if they were married or something, she'd probably, who knows what, probably more than hurt him. But the boyfriend girlfriend part and her having this lifestyle with him, I think she's content when he's around at least. She doesn't have to worry as much, right? All right, well, this was 20 minutes. I can't even remember all that I said because my short term memory is like literally that bad. I could probably pick out 3 different things I talked about in this 20 minutes, and I can't even remember the rest, but I'm just going to go ahead and send this. And yeah, I hope you understand where I'm coming from now. And please remember that I have been physically, emotionally, financially, and sexually abused. Um, and I don't know if you've been through all of those, like the sexual part. Well, yeah, you were with the video being sent to your brother. That was just shocking. Freaking unreal. I don't, yeah. Makes me wonder if he's got something on me that he's just holding in case I would ever really make his life harder. It makes me wonder. But am I going to worry about it? No. All right. Love you.
Okay, so yeah, it's an odd thing, right? To listen to someone's private messages, but they're mine and mine to share with you guys so that um I feel like Cierra has at least some more understanding of why I typed let let go, let God. And I prefaced it also in her comments after her, last live, what you said, that what she said. Because anybody can just type, right? Let go, let God, live and let live. There's another one. Stinking thinking. Yeah. Hi to all of you. That's so nice. Thank you. Sunflower Darkness and hi. Hi everyone. Nanya Business. Hello. That's so nice. That is really nice. And Freeside was in here. Excuse me. And oh, hey girl with a shamrock. Feisty Cooter. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, and in a nutshell, or not a nutshell, but like I said before I put my little videos here, she did say, um I understand the very last one that she typed. I mean, she typed, I don't mean to make you nervous. She also typed, good job, Parker. And she typed, uh, another little small paragraph, and it's on this. I can't even just instantly pull up my messenger without having to do password and all that in the older iPad. Um, but she did say, I have a better understanding, I think. Not even I think I have a better understanding. She ended with I think. And then when I went to her post and saw her pretty lengthy, really well written, um, right, post stating she's, giving herself a mental break, obviously from either YouTube or just she's also getting together new things coming up on her live. So, yeah, Sierra Queen Penn Clark. If Mary Jane Doe, you want to put her link in my chat, that would be great. Um, so yeah, I mean, I kind of, after 2.5 years, PJ wants to say it was 5 years ago, and right, people want to say that what Sierra put out about PJ, or not PJ, Jimmy texting somebody that has a place in Tucson, Arizona now and then, that it's all AI. No, no, it isn't. I mean, AI when you see it. These text messages are legit. Now, I was surprised though when I read them at how many words Jimmy used. Big long sentences. I mean, for him to go through what he went through with me, and he barely typed, he didn't even put okay, it was just K, it was just hey, what, WYD, what you doing? Um, to see all those longish sentences from him to the supposed other woman was different. I'm not saying it's not legit, I'm just saying it's different. So, and very different. And you'd think he'd be even more cautious or at that point, it was a year later because I saw him in 2023. Um, First heard about his channel in 2022. And now it will have been 3 years. August, I left on the 24th, I got there the 25th. On August 25th, um, this coming August, it'll be 3 years since I, you know, got to see Jimmy. As far as talking to him, I already mentioned the little burner phone, but that was used just once, and he wanted me to be able to send decent pictures and a video if I wanted, and I told him I just have the little flip phone, and I think honestly, he became quite, without saying it, disinterested. I'm just gonna say it. That's the feeling I had. No one can take people's feelings away, and so you have to be careful these days of using you when you talk. It needs to be, well, I feel like this, and this kind of thing. So that's what's going on with that. And oh my, see, I didn't even know what a spank bank even was. I thought it was like a place that he went to meet women or something, like those sort of escort kind of women. Um, Hi, Lolsey. Is that Lolsey? Lolsey's from, is it Scotland? Lolsey's Paradise. Are you the Lolsey from Yes They Do and Can't Be? Yeah. So, I mean, this is a thing. Ireland. Okay, wonderful. Good to see you. What a pretty emoji. Um that's Lizzie? That's Lizzo. No, Lizzo's from the UK. Well, anyway. And that's the other thing. If Jill could put her channel in here too. I don't know how to do those links. But it looks like Team Rose, I comment now and then. She does quite a few little videos, 4 minutes, 7 minutes. Some of them are 20 minutes. Face cleansing, ideas, the hats, and all the cool things she's been crocheting in all those multicolors. And she showing the sunsets and the sunrises and the You have no channel. I'm guessing I wouldn't dare. Well, you'd be good. I mean, I've heard you lolsy up on Team Roses in the past, and so I mean, it's it's kind of a nice outlet. Um, I mean, I want to get to 5,000. It's just sort of a number thing in my head because, right, you look around you and so many people have that many subs, but I'm thinking more now. I'm like, good grief. If I'm sort of slowing down this much and I'm only a year older almost in June anyway from last year, how am I going to feel at 65? Like I'm future tripping. How am I going to feel at 70? Am I going to feel like a 90-year-old at 75? I mean, this is kind of how, I've been thinking lately. And I have to keep track of my blood pressure. All I see, Megan, is shit with being a creator. I know, you go through it, but when you come out the other side, it's really nice. And I can honestly, I mean, do you think I'd still be doing a channel? 95% or more people have been kind to me. Oh, lucky if we get to 60 or 70. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I'm supposed to take my blood pressure 2 times a week, and I've been doing that pretty faithfully since January. And I write it in that little thing, you get at the bank, those little calendars, those where you can write on them. They're little, fit in your purse or whatever, and that's working perfectly. But gosh, I mean, until yesterday, I mean, I don't know. Like, it hasn't been mass high, like, but it's been like 169, which is high. I'm supposed to be 130 or below. That's what is good after what I've been through, with a stroke and especially the stress induced heart attack. That's what the doctor and even the cardiologist said is actually good, right? Whereas my blood pressure, when I didn't have any issues, was 110 over 70 constantly, even after pedaling my bicycle up this big ass hill, for 20 minutes getting to the doctor in the past. I never had high blood pressure. Never thought I would. But then yesterday it was really quite good. What was it? It was one oh, what was it? Well, I can look on this thing because I wrote it down. And yeah, well, see, it's a little high. 134 over 76. Now, the bottom number is their biggest concern for some reason, and they want it to be at 80 or below. So I was below. but I was a tinge higher than 130. But 3 days before that, on the first day of spring, the 20th, I was 146 over 83. And then 4 days before that, I was 152 over 88. Now, we're not supposed to take it 2 times in a row, but that day I did because I took it and it was 169 over 94. And I was like, so I was like, oh, because you're supposed to sit still for 15 minutes even. But I hadn't even gotten up and fed the cats and done anything and got my heart all going, so I thought it would be lowish. Okay. I was told in my condition that I'm high for stroke and heart attack. Some shock I got. Wow. Well, this is the thing. I'm here to say if your blood pressure is high, I'm going to give some medical advice because I never did anything about it. I mean, I knew it was genetic on my dad's side, but I thought I could get away with taking red yeast rice supplements. They work like a statin. Now, so if it's not a genetic and hereditary thing, it can help. And it did help me, but it was very slow process. My cholesterol number together was 253. I rode my bike. I was fit. I wasn't overweight. I wasn't eating a bunch of fat or sugar. When I made chicken nuggets, for the kids when they were, teens and whatever, I'd have maybe two and they'd have 10 or 12. I mean, I really tried to cut out things. But the lowest I got was the whole number was, what was it? Was it 244? And that was 2 weeks before my stroke. And I've said this before, but the doctor sent me home with this, what is it, like 100 smiley faces saying I was doing good that they type out and give you. And then I have a stroke. Oh, okay. Lolsey says, till now all was fine. My dad died at 49, major heart attack, bypass done. Now my BP up and cholesterol high. Yeah. So I I mean, go to your doctor. And if they say you need blood pressure medicine, get on it. Get on it. I mean, I I was told to get on a statin. I talked to my mom about it because she was a nurse, or try the Mediterranean diet. And of course, she said to me, do what the doctors say, but know that once you're on a statin, it's possibly for the rest of your life. And she said it's a barbiturate. I didn't know what any of that stuff meant, but I tried the other and I had the stroke. And so, but I found out, that it didn't matter how much I exercised. It didn't matter how much less fat I ate. It was genetic on my father's side. Also, Lolsey. He had 5-way bypass when he was 55. And when he was 65, he had a pig valve thing put in. You have anxiety too. Yeah, I, like, you'll hear me take these deep breaths. Like, even right now, I'm yawning a little bit, but it's, like, my anxiety is definitely since the, stress induced, because that's what they said it was, heart attack I had in April. I notice every little thing in my body more, like my heart beating, not crazy like, but pretty quick. And then it'll slow down as I'm resting and getting sleepy, and I used to fall asleep, oh my gosh, within a couple of minutes. And now I find myself, because of anxiety, and I'm on Zoloft, or I'd probably be off the chain with anxiety and maybe even depression. Um, it takes me a good half hour, sometimes 45 minutes. One night I laid here for 3 hours and I was tired. So, and I know there's melatonin, and my kids take a melatonin now and then. And even though it's a natural thing, there's just part of me that doesn't want to A, wake up feeling tired because sometimes they do from it, but B, I'll talk to my doctor about it because I am beginning to think I need kind of a sleep aid or something. But I usually go to bed at like 12 or 1, and I'm asleep by like 1:30. There's no more staying up till this 2, 3, and 4 in the morning, because even if I sleep till noon, and this is what I've noticed with getting older, even if I get 9 hours, 11 hours, even if my kids or my son lets me sleep till 2 the next day, I get up and I'm tired. And there's some real truth to that. What? That REM, that rapid eye movement, deep REM sleep that we need. And so it concerns me, that my son is up every night with his, couple of friends, the one, in Marysville and the one in New York, listening to music, or playing a game, or looking at YouTube or whatever. It's not very healthy. I read somewhere that people that do the graveyard shift, they shave about 7 years off their life in the long run. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know how true that is. And I did that for a year when I worked at Denny's restaurant in Burlington, Vermont. Oh, no sleep all night. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and my son was like that when he moved here 6 years ago on February 4th from his dad. Because, his dad would be drinking through the night and then blaring music at 5 in the morning and this and that and the other thing. And it took 2 weeks to get him off that cycle. And then when he got on medication, the trazodone helped. But I don't know, like, if his body acclimated or what to the trazodone, but it doesn't even really work. I mean, we're talking, he's had up to 50 and then 100 in trazodone. When I went through some stuff back in the day, I was given trazodone, and oh my gosh, you guys, it scared me. I think I was on only 10 or 20, or maybe it was 50. My mom said, "Well, just try half," but I didn't feel drowsy. I felt drugged. Like, it was weird, and I didn't take it again. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. Let me see what that says. Goes through these cycles, and I can't sleep when he dies because I have to work, and I can't. I was watching. I think it's called. I think it's called You, with a big U, Style Me or something. Shoot, now I can't remember. Anyway, um, they started like 14 years back, and people come out with all this, like, lots of clothing on this video. And some of them literally like jackets and a hat and their socks and their shoes and maybe a tie. men or women, and as they're talking, and then they take off their fake eyelashes, and some of them wash the makeup off their face, and it's very revealing. And they talk about their feelings and how they deal with society and whatever. And they're quick videos, but the Janelle Monet one, after looking at quite a few, is the one I picked out for her, for Cierra. I really just wanted to introduce the channel to her. Um, I looked at one of an 86-year-old woman whose skin was amazing. She probably, possibly, she had to have had some work on it. I mean, there was just, like, you could tell she was in her 80s because of her eyes and stuff, but her skin, like, there were no wrinkles. She was, but anyway, she was, shoot, her name's Beatrice something. Now I can't remember. And she's a lady from Germany, and she makes her own clothes and things. And she was modeling these different coats and things and rings that she made. And she talked about how she, uh, the love that she got from her father was being heard. Oh, Beatrice has something to say. I mean, it was really interesting. You know, we're talking back in the what, 1930s or 20s or whatever it would have been. And she, she's so positive, and she's just like, you know, and she was married, and but I guess the kind of, she said the European way or something was, the man you're married to can have, like, I don't know if it was a mistress or another wife, probably more like a mistress. I don't want to get it all screwed up, but what she had to say was really beautiful and really enlightening. And then, of course, it came up as a short on my feed. Um, anyway, so I watched her, and then I scrolled down, and there were so many others, right? I mean, lots. You know, I had never heard the word polyamorous until Cierra said it. And I didn't even really know what it was or meant. I didn't bother looking it up. I didn't ask her in Messenger. And then they had a whole little video on that. And then they showed a woman who lost both of her breasts to cancer, and she had tattoos all over her chest in that area. But I was so surprised that YouTube showed that much, allowed that much skin, like, really, you know. And then the lady Paulina Periscovo, you know, from back in the day, the band The Cars, she, you know, went out with the lead, or was married to the lead singer. Beautiful woman. She's trying to embrace her gray hair and some of her wrinkles, and her eyes are a lighter blue now. And she had something incredible to say. So yeah, but so I tried to pick the Janelle Monet because I've heard that name before, and I was captivated by what she was sharing and saying. Um, but that's what I mean about texting and sending pictures. When you don't hear someone's voice, people, anybody, can read it the wrong way. Like, they just can. Um, yeah, it's, so that's why I explained, you know, why I sent the Janelle Monet um, to Cierra. But I'm proud of her for taking a break. I've done it twice for 3 months, 3 months in a row. Last June, July, and August. Um, and then I think it was a year or 2 years before that for 3 months. And it ended up being that long. I mean, we're talking nothing, not checking out other programs, not even checking Messenger, not replying to anyone, just my telephone and dealing with life here. And it felt so good and it was so freeing, um, that, you know, I, I, I wasn't sure I was going to come back at all the second time after my mom passed away and my sister was sick and all that. But you guys really do become like family. Excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups. Yeah, I mean, texts are so impersonal. So, yeah, I hope to God, Mary Jane Doe, that, I mean, I wouldn't think Cierra would be upset or anything. I'm just sort of letting everyone know that we're good because she told me that. She sent me some hearts and I sent her hearts and she said, I love you too. That was her last message to me. So that's another reason I felt like I could do this video. If she hadn't responded back or was wavering on her feelings about, right, her friendship with me, this internet friendship, because I've never met her, um, then I wouldn't have gone ahead and just done this. But because I feel like we're, uh, solid as friends, that I could. So I hope, if, I don't think she'll get upset and not watch it, but I guess I'm saying I hope she hears this. It's been an hour and a half long. Well, not quite, 78 minutes. Yeah, I have never done talk to text ever. Thanks, Lolsey. Thanks for coming in. If you guys want to hit the like, I'd appreciate it. I got 16 likes, and that's nice. And again, I was going to do a topic. I don't want to share it, but I thought, I want people to know, that Cierra and I were good. And yeah, um, let's see, what else? Just really windy here today. Like, I have this green, silky, satiny thing on the love seat thing out on the deck, and it's being blown off. It's that windy. For the first time, like this year, it's rained other times. It almost snowed like twice, and then it stopped. But the wind is so intense. My daughter said, "Boy, I hope we don't lose power." So I don't know where we're really getting this from, but um, yeah, the plane crash that happened. Uh, well, it was yesterday because it was. Well, no, it was in the evening, but then it was like 5 a.m. in the morning until it was like, I mean, it's intense. You should look into that. The Air Canada that hit the little truck. They said it was going about 104 miles an hour when it hit the little truck. And to think, fire truck. The fire truck was given the go ahead to cross the runway to get over to the gassy odor that was coming out of a jet. The other thing is that jet, I think it was a Delta, was about to leave. I'm pretty sure it was Delta. It was ready to leave and it was taxiing out and they noticed a smell. and it had to literally go off the runway that it was going to take off from, like to the right or whatever, and taxi up to the gate. And then the odor got even worse. And so I've heard other pilots talking and saying that it's probably the exhaust from the engine getting inside through takeoff or something like that. And the stewardesses were feeling sick. So it was pretty serious. But before I went live, I watched two people on a simulator, and that was interesting. And he said that what we should do, and I agree with him, is he said just like a racetrack when he said the red flag is up, like for a car crash or anything. He said it was red. He didn't say yellow. Yeah, the red flag. Um, every car on the track has to pull in somewhere and get off the track so nobody gets hurt. And so he feels that there should be some kind of flag or warning whenever there's something wrong, right, on the at the airport outside like that to do with the runways or whatever, that all the planes that are going to come down, onto the runways, because there's like out of LaGuardia alone, there's 900 in and out a day. That's a lot. We're looking at least 500 a day leaving and 500 coming in every day. So, you know, so anyway, that he feels that if there was something like that in place, then Air Canada, instead of landing, right, would have had to stay up in the air and circle around or whatever, or go to another airport if it could have. But it was a quick trip, a passenger said, literally from, it left, let's see, was it headed to Montreal through New York? Now I can't remember. I think it left Montreal. Yeah, it left Montreal going to New York. Yeah. And yeah, and the people in this, the two drivers in the little yellow fire truck thing, they survived, you guys. I mean, I don't know, like if I think they're in serious condition. They were taken to the hospital, but they survived, and that truck is mangled. And the front of this Air Canada, if you haven't seen it, Mary Jane Doe, because I think you had stated when I brought it up in the beginning of my live, the whole front nose is sheared off. And the pilots died, the co-pilot and the other one, they passed away. I saw two different white sheets being laid upon, I'm assuming, trigger warning, the bodies, in some footage. Yeah. And a stewardess, and they showed a picture of her on my email. She looks like she's maybe 40 or 38 years old. She looks Hawaiian or Hispanic. I think she's Hispanic because of her last name is Hispanic sounding. Her daughter said it's an absolute miracle her mother's alive. She was thrown out of the plane, still buckled into her little seat, where the back of the seat is facing the cockpit, up front. That's where she was sitting. The whole front got sheared off. She got thrown 300 feet into the air, they said. Or not into the air, away, 300 feet away from the aircraft, still buckled into that seat. Now, she was hurt pretty badly. She has broken bones, and she has to have surgery. Where, what kind, I don't know. But yeah, I read that. So that was pretty incredible. Um, and then, like I said before, it was 43, I believe, or 48 were sent to the hospital with 9. First, they were in critical condition, and then it was down to serious. Yeah. And before I went live, apparently, when they were doing the simulator and talking, these pilots, um, showing us what it would be like and everything coming in and flying, the runway was slippery with rain and the visibility wouldn't have been too good. But the 3 passengers that have spoken now, a woman like in her maybe early 30s and some young guy maybe in his 20s and another guy in his 30s, are the only, oh no, and another lady who makes many trips to Montreal to see her grandbaby. They're the only 4 that I've seen speaking so far, and they said that it got quite turbulent before the plane touched down. Then they said before the plane touched down, the stewardesses said, do not reach for your luggage, which I don't know why they would say that because you're supposed to be buckled in anyway. I don't know if they meant like if you have a backpack under your seat, like I did, or a purse or what. And the lady thought that was odd, but my seatbelt, even when I flew when I was younger, until a couple years ago or 2.5 years ago, it's always on. It is snug and tight unless I'm getting up to go to the bathroom or something. But you'd be amazed at people standing around and talking and just, they don't have their seatbelt on, you know? And Ickmel said, and I'm glad I wasn't the only one that thought this way. He was talking about flying, when I was watching his channel. He covered it really well. You guys should go over there and see his coverage. Everyone knows who he is, but maybe Mary Jane Doe, you could put his link in my chat. He covers the, you know, the airline tower recordings, and first the guy gave him the go ahead. Then he saw the plane coming in and he's like, stop, 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 like that to the truck. And it's really intense. I would check it out. It's from yesterday. And that poor man, though, but this is the thing. We can't fault the airline tower too much, person, because they're saying now today that he was doing the job of air, right, and ground at the same time. And why is that, you guys? Because they're short people. They have 3,000 controllers left. Not at LaGuardia. They're trying to say that they needed 34 and they had 31, so they were only short, 2 or something. But why is this man keeping an eye on the planes coming in and on the ground at the same time? So I'm my mind is not going to go to, boy, he messed up, even though he says that. He goes, he was talking to another, I don't know, maybe air controller person, or maybe even the pilot that was in the other plane where the truck was headed to, for all I know. But he's like, I messed up. I mean, and these pilots did lose their lives, the pilot and the co pilot. One is named Mackenzie something, and the other one was another French name. Not Simone, but something close to it. It could have been Simone. Anyway, one of the guys was pretty young too. And the passengers, because they
When they hit the ground, this is what they all said. They're going along, but then all of a sudden, there was this most incredible jolt because they slammed on the brakes. They pulled back on the brakes with all their might, going 104 miles an hour.
Is that amazing or what? And
The that alone made people that were even buckled in just, well, the ones that weren't buckled in that didn't pay attention.
were hitting the front of their seats and hitting the tops of the planes, and blood.
Blood is coming down their faces, and I'm not even kidding. If you follow a lot of this stuff, I'm not embellishing here. I'm
Saying what I've heard from witnesses on the plane. But if you were buckled in,
You had sore neck, sore back.
and buckle marks, literal buckle bruising under your clothes. That's how intense it was. And
I mean, even though I was on quite a few jets, getting out of Seattle and heading to Virginia and back, and then the time I flew way back many times was to Okinawa, and that was up and down from Vermont to
to Colorado, to LA, to flipping Alaska, to onto Okinawa. I mean, it was up and down.
you remember it. You remember sitting there. And like Iqmel, this is why I brought him up.
He always thought the most unsafest time is when you're up in the air. And
He said that on his live. He said, but no, it makes sense, he said, right? When you're landing or taking off. And that made me feel a little better because for years
years, I always thought it would be like when you're
flying through the air or something, you're at risk. But
so it's really sad. It's really intense.
and on top of everything, um, nobody was giving directions to anything because the crew was up front. One stewardess got thrown out. The pilots are dead, and the three other stewardesses, I don't know what's happened to them. I'm assuming they're alive, or they would have said, yeah, the only people that died that we know of so far, unless something happens in the hospital, is the pilot and the co pilot. But once the plane came to a stop after hitting the truck, the nose went up, and this lady was just sitting there stunned. And she said the lady next to her said they were right by the emergency door. Open that door, open that door. So she did, and apparently they come off and they're pretty heavy. And before I started my live, this witness said you're supposed to take the door off and chuck it out through the window. She said, so she didn't know that. Another lady told her to do that, but she had already been balancing it against a seat. And then they crawled out, Mary Jane, onto the wing. And it was 8 or 10 feet up, and they had to jump. I'm not kidding. Now that those were the first few that came out, and then somebody released a slide, I believe. I heard that on one, but in the pictures you don't I don't see a slide out at all. And she didn't know like that anybody died. She didn't know how many. She didn't know anything. And she got out and she just saw the front of the airplane gone. So, you know,
they're still processing it.
people are taking off from work. They can't believe they're alive. It could have been so much worse. But I'll end my life saying this: the passengers and the society in general feel that those pilots are heroes because they were given the go ahead to come down, and when they spotted that little truck a little too late, right? It's not their fault. They're going probably 300 and then they braked it to 100. I just, going by what I heard, they people feel that they did a really good job, but they did lose their lives, and it's really sad. So prayers for the families. And yeah, I'm not flying anymore. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go, and it's been 96 minutes. And thanks for everyone that came in. Please hit the like. Please subscribe if you're willing to. Oh, really quickly, can't click on the links in these vertical streams. Oh, okay. That's fine. Love you. I mean, oh, it's starting to get scratchy. Oh, that sucks. All right. So, is it scratchy now? Did it just start, Mary Jane Doe? I wonder if it was when I touched the white cord. Or if it's maybe it could even be the weather. It's better now. Okay, it was when I touched. Okay, that's interesting. Now I do have it charged right now as I'm talking because it was down to like 35, but um I I don't know. I do think with all this ice there do need to be changes. And in all honesty, you guys, I'm glad the Democrats are sticking to their I don't want to say guns, but sticking to their I mean, they just want changes, they don't want ICE to be at hospitals and schools um, and churches. And then there's one other place. And they also don't want them to be wearing the masks and covering themselves up. And they also want them to have cameras. I mean, these are basic things that even the police in society do, and they're sticking to it. Now, are people suffering and not getting paid? Yes. I saw on the news some people that work at airports are going to, food banks and things, and they're and having to pick up another job and this and that. But why do the Republicans have to be so stubborn and not let some of these regulation or these things happen for ICE? I mean, I don't, this is, I don't think we're asking that much. So, anyway, I threw my 2 cents worth. All right, 99 minutes and 20 seconds. Thanks to the 21 in the, we're on episode 39. We're in Fiji, and it's where they had Boston Rob and what is her name? Sandra, who both have won $1 million, are coming back and staying on their own island, and people get sent over there from the different tribes, and they're taught how to do things, and they go through a test of listening and remembering or making a fire. And the third guy had to sneak over at night in the other people's camp and get fire. And if their fire was out, he had to prove to them. And so he put a bunch of ashes in his thing. And if you pass the test, you get an idol. And it's really fun. So I'll probably watch more of that with my daughter tonight. We started from the beginning sometime last fall. All right, good night. Oh, one more thing. I changed my members because, let's be frank, I had 8 members down to 3. And either it's just because I haven't been going live, or people just became disinterested, or they just can't afford to renew their membership, or they don't want to renew their membership. But since I was so low, for lack of a better word, I changed the amount because it's just too high. For the first level used to be $3.99, guinea pig, and then a cat was $5.99. But again, I did that because that's what YouTube
suggested when I hit on the United States, that number comes up. So I went in and edited last night, and yeah, it's $1.99 to become a guinea pig, $2.99 to become a cat, and I tried to change Puget Sound, or no, it's just Pacific. One word, Pacific, because I'm over here in the Pacific Northwest, to from the $5.99 down to $3.99, but I don't even think I have a third level. But then they made me put some perks in, which honestly I didn't even want to have any perks, but I had to fill that part out. So I had to write in like members only. And it's good I looked at the video because you can't just edit these prices. Um, you have to make a new level and then delete the other one. So I spent a good hour on all that stuff last night. So if you want to become a member, it'll help me get to my threshold. It'll help me with my channel and that kind of thing. And I'd so appreciate it. So thank you everybody for being here. Good to see new people. Good to see people that have supported me for a while. And I love you guys. All right. Bye for now.